I traded it all if I gave it.
Welcome back. Now, I'm excited about bringing on my next guest. They were on my show a while back, but, you know, this is something that everyone needs to listen up for. Some people might have an addiction, or they might know someone with an addiction. I have with me Dr. Michael Decker and Ashwin Reddy, and they're the owners of Second Chance Treatment. Welcome back to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and also what you do.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dr. Michael Decker, and I am an addiction psychiatrist and working at the Second Chance Treatment Center. And what we do is we help people with addictions. So if you got a smoking problem, a drinking problem, or perhaps something more serious like pills or even heroin, we are able to use medication-assisted treatment in getting you off of these things and back to your life again. And we're trying to spread the message and let people know what we're doing.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people, there's a lot of people out there that have addictions. A lot of kids out there have addictions. Do you specialize in a certain area of addictions? Is it, you know, something, because obviously there's alcohol, there's crack. I mean, there's a lot of different things.
Yes, there are tons of addictions, but the most effective treatment that we have is actually for people who have addictions to pain pills or what are known as opioids. These things, the doctors will prescribe you for pain, but the problem is once you actually start taking them regularly, you can't stop, and then when you stop, you get sick. And I've had many times people tell me, you know, the doctor didn't tell me that if I stopped this, I was going to get sick, and I ended up in the emergency room because of it. And this is a story I hear almost every day.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what it is. A lot of people do. Their kids find them, and they're in the medicine cabinet, so it's easier for them to even get it. They know what it is, and they can. How easy is it to get addicted to opioids?
So it's actually very easy to get addicted to opioids. They were saying basically, like, if you've taken it more than, say, like a week regularly, if you try to stop, you may experience some withdrawal symptoms. Now, if you've taken it longer than that, like, say, a month or even a year, it's very, very difficult to stop using it. And sometimes even you'll build up what's called a tolerance, and you'll need more medicine. Those are some warning signs that, you know, perhaps the pain medicine is kind of getting the better of you here. And that's why we've been trained specifically at Boston University to really help people get through this and not be a slave to these pain pills anymore.
Can they do things without? I mean, it's got to be hard to get off of it, and that's why you obviously offer what you do, right?
It is extremely difficult to get off of it. And here's the wildest part. It won't kill you if you stop taking your opioids, but it will make you feel terrible. You'll be basically your GI tract, which is your stomach and your intestines, are going to go crazy. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be getting the chills. Your eyes are going to dilate. You're going to be nauseated, in pain. It really is a nasty withdrawal process. And usually once someone has experienced it firsthand, they're so afraid to have a withdrawal again that they become desperate. And so, like, you'll go back to the doctor, but if the doctor won't give you more of the pain pills, you can't get out from this withdrawal feeling. People feel they're forced or compelled to go buy it off the streets.
Right, and that's dangerous. That's very dangerous because it's not the same thing, is it?
No. In fact, what people are buying on the streets, what they think they're buying on the streets, may not actually be what the dealers are telling them. And so we're ending up with deaths every single day right now, right here in Arizona. And I'm glad Governor Ducey just a couple weeks ago said it's now a opioid crisis emergency here in Arizona. And we're right on the front lines of that, fighting it tooth and nail.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the lines to the audience too, because I want to see if you know, maybe if there is somebody that might even want to call in. Maybe you have somebody that you know that is dealing with this and you have a question about it. We want to let you have that opportunity. I know it's hard to talk about, but don't feel bad. You know, no one will know who you are, but if you do want to call in, Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check them on their website. It is Second, that's 2ND. So it's secondchancetreatment.com. So it's 2ndchancetreatment.com. Okay, so what is this treatment? What do you do for them?
So basically, in the past, when you were hooked on these pain pills or heroin, basically people really didn't have an option. But in the 1970s, there came a treatment called methadone, and the federal government restricted its use very, very strictly so that people would have to go to the methadone clinic every single morning to get their dose. So
I remember that.
Yeah. And the problem
Not that I did that, but go ahead.
People would line up at like 3, 4 in the morning just so that they could get their methadone and then go to work. It really wasn't a workable system if you had a job or a life or obligations. Well, in the year 2000, the Drug and Alcohol Treatment Act came out, and buprenorphine, which is also used in the products Suboxone or Zubsolv or Bunavail, this chemical came out, and it's been basically a silver bullet for heroin and regular pain pills. What it does is it goes into your body and basically takes the withdrawal and stops the withdrawal, and then once you're on it, it stops the cravings, and if you do relapse, it blocks your ability to get kind of euphoric after you take it.
Okay, so let me get all of that. Okay, so somebody who comes to you, first of all, I want to make it clear again, you specialize in opioids, but can anyone come to you for anything else?
Basically, yeah, any kind of addiction, we can work with you on it.
I just want to make sure they understand that. So if you've got any kind of addiction whatsoever, if it's you, if it's your child, if it's grandchild, if you know someone, we all know someone, and please, if you want to call in and you have a question, you can. He's here live to talk to everybody. But again, I know that it's hard to talk about this, but we can get your name and number. We can get you connected with them. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check out their website. It's 2ND, so secondchancetreatment.com. Okay, so when somebody comes to you, obviously they're in crises, they're dealing with something. Generally, do they call you, or has somebody gone to intervention? How do they get to you usually?
Surprisingly enough, so we're on most of the insurance plans, and they'll send us a lot of people. But sometimes people will be searching on the internet, how do I get help? How do I get off these pain pills? I'm hooked on this or that. And they'll find us on the internet through Google. Just Google search us. And they'll come in and they'll tell us about the problems, and typically from there they'll start referring all of their friends.
So in terms of it, they come in, they have a consultation, and what's the process? Because I know that you also not only just get them off, but you get them to stay off of it.
Yes.
And that's how.
So it's done by seeing each other a lot. Basically, like we see each other on a weekly basis, and it's not long. It's maybe for 15-20 minutes, and we sit down and we check and make sure that the medicine's still intact. We do a drug test to make sure that somebody's taking the medicine, and if they had any slips, they have an opportunity to say, "Hey, I think I'm going to be positive for X, Y, or Z," and then we talk about it. What happened? What was going on?
They give you second chances.
Exactly. And the moral of the story is, if you are supportive to people, this is their hardest, darkest, deepest time, and we're supportive of you, and we'll get you out of it in one piece. We'll bear with you. We're not going to give up on you.
And I heard you say that it's covered under insurance.
Yes, we do take most major insurance plans.
That's amazing, right there. I mean, that you can't get certain other things, but they can help with that. That's awesome, and that helps a lot that people know that. Okay, so again, you can check them out on their website. It's 2ND for second, 2ndchancetreatment.com. We're going to get out your phone number because I don't have it written down, but do you know it by heart?
Yep.
Okay, what is it?
Our office phone number is 602-464-9464. 9576.
Now, you can call them. You obviously do consultations with people. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know. We've got our lines open here. You can call in if you want to talk to them. He can talk to you. He's here live to talk to you about this. Again, don't feel bad about it. No one's going to know who you are. If you'd like to do it, our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can also call them direct at 602-464-9576. Welcome back. We're talking with Dr. Michael Decker and Ashwin Reddy, and they are the owners of Second Chance Treatment. And you were here the last time, and I said you came on too short. Now I'm so glad you're on longer because we can really talk about this. I have my lines open here again. If you don't want to talk about it and on air, you can still call in. We'll get you connected with them. If you want to call in and just talk a little bit about maybe it's you or someone that you know, you can. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I know it's a difficult conversation, but they're here to help you guys, and they do it with no judgment whatsoever, and that's
no
Roland
judgment.
Putman.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, you also have a public service announcement that you wanted to do. What was that?
So it's twofold. Basically, right now, again, Governor Ducey's just said we're in an opioid crisis, but let me warn you guys explicitly: there are people who buy oxycodone from their friends, family, drug dealer, etc., and there are some fake oxycodone pills out there right now, guys. They are blue, and they are fentanyl, and they will kill you if you take them. They will make you overdose instantaneously, and please don't do it, folks, okay? Now, the second part is that there is rescue kits available downtown at a place called Shot After Dark. And basically what it is there is a reversal, a antidote if people are overdosing on opioids, and it's called naloxone or Narcan. And when you get this stuff, they'll give it to you in a little device, and you can spray it in somebody's nose if they're overdosing on opioids. One way to tell if somebody's overdosing on opioids is they're turning blue, they're gasping for air, they're not waking up when you try and shake them and say, oh my God. That's when you call 911, folks, okay? So two things: don't take the blue pills that people are selling out there because they will kill you, and number two is there are Narcan rescue kits, so if you're afraid for your friends or family, you can go pick them up at Shot After Dark downtown.
Wow, that's awesome. Is that information on your website?
Hi, it's Dr. Reddy. I'm a bit late.
Go ahead.
Seeing patients, actually. Just, saw
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people. There are. Go ahead.
Yeah, saw about, 40 patients, today already who are, mostly patients addicted to opiates, and, most of them do come in weekly or every 2 weeks, for our maintenance treatment plan, and most are doing very well. So it's, I want to stress today, is that there's so much attention about opiates now, and that's great because it's finally getting to the public knowledge where the average person knows now the dangers of opiates. But what people should also know is that there are treatments that do work, and this is not a death sentence anymore. I mean, the medication we do prescribe is very effective and does change people's lives. So.
Now, the medication that you prescribe, okay, how long does it take for someone to I mean, I don't know if there is a day, if everybody's different. How fast do they see some of the effects of that?
Right. So it's still an opiate. It's a buprenorphine. The popular brand name is Suboxone. They feel the effects as soon as you take it, actually, because it's taken sublingually, which means, place it under your tongue and has to dissolve into your bloodstream from your mouth cavity. And its effects, usually start within about, 15 to 20, 30 minutes. And they start feeling better immediately because it's still an opiate, so it's going to take the place of the old opiate. But the way it works is it's taking the place of the old opiate, but it's a safer version of it.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When somebody does come in and they talk to you and you have this they want to do it, they're on it, how long does it mean that they'd have to take that for X amount of weeks, or is it of a lifetime thing? What is it?
And this is a very common question that, occurs almost at every first visit. How long do I stay on this treatment? So we always, follow the evidence, and, the evidence shows that maintenance is what works. So, without so maintenance means at least a year or more of treatment. It sounds like a lot, but, the reality is most patients are coming in after several years of being addicted. It's not as often that they come in, so quickly. So,
right.
The evidence shows that at without maintenance treatment, patients have a 90% relapse risk by 1 year. And then, and there's some recent evidence now that shows that at 4 years on maintenance, and up to 1/3 of patients are sober, and they're actually off Suboxone or buprenorphine. So, the bottom line is long-term maintenance works, and that's at least a year or more.
Right. There's a lot of people too. Obviously, they don't even accept that they are. They don't really know that they are. They get involved in it. They're taking it for pain, so they think that it's something that they were prescribed by the doctor. So it's not something that I'm addicted to. I'm supposed to take it, right?
Absolutely. And so one of the things that we work with people is there's different stages of change. And when people are in that stage of change where they're using a substance and they feel like it's not causing them any problems, it's called pre-contemplative. And what that means is they just really don't know that they have a problem yet. And one of the things that we do, not typically at our office, because by the time they come to us, they usually know there's a problem. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we do at the hospital where we learned was help people understand that maybe there's some negatives to it too. And when we did that, people really would be like, really? Tell me more. Mm-hmm. Every single
What
time.
are some of the negatives? Let's talk about them for a second.
Of Suboxone? Mm-hmm. Well, it's... So unfortunately, you are still taking an opiate daily. So there is some stigma out there that, why are you giving an opiate for opiate addiction? Isn't there something better that works out there? But unfortunately, there isn't. Brain science has not advanced that much to the point where there is, some kind of, gold bullet that would
There's
solve the problem. No.
But it sounds to me, though, that it is it's designed for it. It's different. It's designed for you to get off of it. Mm-hmm. So it's, even though it's an opiate, it's a different...
Well, actually, buprenorphine or Suboxone was originally used for pain. It was actually developed for pain like in the 60s and 70s and used in Europe actually more commonly. But then, once opiate addiction started, becoming more prevalent, especially in the U.S., they started testing it specifically for opiate addiction and found that it's very ideal for this condition. So
once they've gotten on this, they've now been on it for a couple of weeks, and they're coming into you. How often do they come in? Did you say daily or weekly, or how does that work?
Once a week.
Okay. Yeah. And then they come in, and then that's done through is it done one-on-one? Is it done in a group session? How does that work?
So it is one-on-one with us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because some people don't feel comfortable when it's a group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it. I'm so glad you came on for 30 minutes. Go ahead.
So basically, by talking one-on-one, not only are we managing the medicine, but we're doing the psychotherapy right at the same time. And the reason we do weekly, again, not super long visits, 15, 20 minutes, but the reality is over a month, it's an hour of therapy. And then when you need help, we're there. And just that regularity, there's something to count on.
And the other thing, this is all, they take most major insurances. So, and that's something that's obvious. We need to know that. A lot of people, in so many areas, there are people that tell me, I get my son help because, they don't take insurance. There's nothing I could do anymore. We don't have the money to help them. And they end up in, some of them, they die or they're in jail or what have you. But this is covered in most cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so we accept most commercial insurances and Medicare, and we are slowly trying to break into the Medicaid, population as well. The way Medicaid works is every state has its own version of Medicaid. Here it's called Access, so it's a little more complicated, state by state. But overall, most insurances do cover this treatment, and definitely cover the cost of the medication.
A lot of vets. Do you see a lot?
Absolutely.
I want to talk about that because there's a lot out there, especially that listen to this station. Go ahead.
Veterans are actually my favorite patients. Before I came here, I was actually working for the VA in Tucson. Before that, the VA in Boston. Before that, the VA right here in Phoenix. I believe we accept TRICARE. We accept Medicare. Come on down, vets. I'm more than happy to work with you, and I can even help engage with the VA if you'd like. So. I'm more than happy to work with veterans.
Well, you know what? Even if you didn't get a chance to call in, or you felt badly about calling in, because it's a hard subject.
Very hard.
But you know what? We want to keep our lines open here. If anyone wants to get in touch with them, you can call in here. We'll get you connected. Maybe you know of that. Maybe you know somebody. Maybe and again, we're going to stress this too. It doesn't have to be opiate. If you get any kind of addiction that you're dealing with, though they do specialize in that, though they want to help. Let's help everybody get back and be good and healthy again and strong. So you can call them direct at 602-464-9576. It's second 2ND. So it's secondchancetreatment.com. Our number here 602-277-5369. Toll free it's 1-866-536-1100, or call them again 602-464-9576.